guys, welcome to another Get Ready With Me video where I get ready while I talk about some important things. In this video, I'll be talking about is Canada depressing? Because the main stigma attached to Canada is that, it's depressing. At least that's what I heard. Start getting ready and I'll show you the products as I use them. And we'll talk. Prep my skin. I use the Elf Skin Holy Hydration, and guys, I'm obsessed. Like, this is, for me, this has worked the best for dry skin since I've had dry skin जब से मैं यहाँ आई हूँ. And after that I use my sunblock because without it, I don't think your skin can do well in the long term. And then I'm gonna put some Holy Hydration coconut mist to make it dewy and hydrated. And the next product I've been obsessed with is Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. Guys, like, I'm telling you, this literally feels like skin. It बिल्कुल ऐसे मेल्ट हो जाता है आपकी स्किन पे. Okay, so do I find Canada depressing? That's what I'm gonna talk about. Because जब मैं यहाँ आने वाली थी, so जो लोग यहाँ से थे, they told me like Canada could be really depressing for people. And I think the main reason people believe that or people have experience like that is because of the extreme weather. That's the main thing, I think. And how you deal with that extreme weather, I think, decides about your experience, basically, how it's gonna be in Canada. So, like, when I found out I'll be going to Canada, I was concerned because मैंने जितना सुना था, उसके according, Canada was supposed to be depressing. To cover dark circles up, I think it does help if you use a little bit of corrector. When I talked to my husband about it, even before we were married, I asked him, is Canada depressing? So he completely denied. He was like, I think it depends on, people, how they take it. And personally, now that I've lived it, I think it's true. आप जैसे life को लेके चलेंगे वैसे it's gonna be. But I have to add, यहाँ का extreme weather does play a role in how you feel. Because it's not all happy and like rainbows and unicorns. It does take a while to get used to the weather. And I think the other thing that I talked about even before, about the sun and vitamin D3, I think if you don't take care of yourself in that way, it could also get depressing because I think these factors also play an important role, in how one feels. And there are days jab sun nahi nikalta hai. So guys, I'll be contouring a little bit and I'll be using Makeup by Mario contour stick. So there are times जब सन नहीं निकलता है और dark होते हैं days, and it's very natural to feel down in those days. So जब ऐसे moments होते हैं तो like what I do is, there are some days when I feel like, and I'm not talking clinical depression by any means, I'm just having a general talk. So जब ऐसे days होते हैं कि थोड़ा स्लो चल रहा है सब कुछ, बिकॉज कनाडा की लाइफ मुझे स्लो लगती है. सो जब स्लो चल रहा है सब कुछ और वेदर इतना एक्सट्रीम है कि ज़्यादा बाहर भी नहीं निकल रहे या सन नहीं निकल रहा, तो थोड़ा डार्क है आउटसाइड, इट डज स्टार्ट टू फील लाइक समथिंग्स रॉन्ग. And I do have those days as well. What I do is I try to keep my faith in things that it's gonna be fine, and I make sure and also I'm using this Makeup by Mario blush in Perfect Pink. So what I also make sure that I am taking my multivitamins and my vitamin D3, and because sometimes अगर आपकी चीज़ें imbalanced है तो भी आप डाउन फील कर सकते हैं. नॉट नेसेसरली सर्कमस्टेंशियल हो के कोई मसला चल रहा है तो आप डाउन है, या वेदर ख़राब है तो आप डाउन है. समटाइम्स ये चीज़ें भी आपको डाउन कर देती हैं इफ़ आपकी चीज़ें बैलेंस्ड नहीं है, आपके न्यूट्रिएंट्स वगैरह बैलेंस्ड नहीं है. और दूसरा मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि when you start taking care of yourself and you start making sure that you are doing something productive every day, that feeling goes away sooner or later. Like, that feeling goes away because you are so focused on making your life better or in living every day to its fullest that these things stop bothering you. And I don't mean to be on my high horses because मेरा experience, बाकियों से different होगा. हर एक experience unique होता है. Everyone has their own experience with things, everyone has their own struggles. Sometimes I like to add a little shimmer to my blush, so I'm using this Maybelline's highlight by Face Studio. Put some with my brush. So, and then the other thing I think is important is to remind yourself that to stay positive, you know. And it's really hard if, things are not going the best, and to keep reminding yourself. I'm using this Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette, and I'm just gonna take a brown shade, any brown shade, like just to create a little bit of crease, because today I'm doing simple gold foil eyes and with a red lip. So I don't want to go too overboard with the eyes. I'm just gonna keep it simple on the eyes and then do a bold red lip. मैं ये करती हूँ कि अपने आप को पॉजिटिव रखने की कोशिश करती हूँ, and people around you also play an important role. One more thing I want to point out, guys, is self-care. Self-care at the end of the day is so important, because if you're not taking care of yourself, I don't think you're gonna feel good. And I'm using this MAC foil pigment in tan, shade tan, over my eyes. So मैंने जो notice किया है most लोगों में, जो कि I feel like in the long run लोग अपनी life को question करना शुरू कर देते हैं, is when especially girls stop taking care of themselves, especially after they're married. They feel like they're so busy with everything and taking care of everyone that they neglect themselves. और ये जो neglect करना वाला part है, that leads to depression eventually, because you start questioning your identity. You start having identity crisis. So I think एक चीज़ जो बंदा कर सकता है to combat feeling down or depressed is to take care of themselves and remind themselves of positive things, and try to make tiny experiences, little things valuable. Like, अगर सर्दी है और बाहर इतनी स्नो है, तो just sit near a window and enjoy a cup of coffee or tea, or watch something nice, or sit with your loved ones and talk. There's so many things one can do to make themselves feel better. And I'm just talking about, जब थोड़ा बहुत डाउन हो जाता है बंदा, तो अपने आप को किन तरीकों से बंदा बाहर निकाल सकता है. So guys, now I'm gonna put eyeliner off camera. Okay guys, so I put my eyeliner on, and I'm using this lip crayon, Maybelline lip crayon, for my as my lip liner, because that's what I like to use. And I always outline my lips with the darker shade because it makes your lips look bigger. I'm obsessed with this Maybelline Vanilla Ink, because if I especially wear red lips or darker lips, it's so much easier because it's glossy yet it's transfer proof. Like, as far as Canada is concerned, for my liking, the pace is slow here, and that is depressing for people who come from a faster paced city or country, and they find it, especially in Alberta too, like the pace is slower, so that does get depressing for people, and I think that's also a factor. But I've slowly learned to embrace the pace as well, and Aista aista, I've gotten more accustomed to the pace. To keep myself in elevated mood, I try to do the little things that make me happy, like enjoy the little things, like just a simple cup of tea or coffee could make my day. And I try to enjoy the chores as I'm doing them. Guys, I'm using the Balm highlighter. This is one of my favorites, Mary Luminizer. It's a very subtle highlighter. So छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में खुशियाँ ढूंढ के, like I find ways to make myself happy. And if I do these things, like, I don't think at the end of the day my opinion is that Canada is depressing. At least on my according to my experience, I don't find Canada depressing. जब वेदर अच्छा होता है तो मैं वॉक पे निकल जाती हूँ, तो दैट ऑल्सो cheers me up. And just looking at the scenery, like, I enjoy nature so much. Here the greenery is insane when it's summer. So वो भी मैंने देखा है, so I know what's coming. Even अभी the trees are so sad and dry, and no leaves on them, anything. Just know that looks a little sad, but I know what's coming. I know eventually it's going to be summer, it's going to be green. If that keeps my spirits uplifted. So in general, that's the same way I look at life. If it's going down, it's gonna go up as well. So that keeps me, that keeps my mood elevated for most parts. So it's done. The look is done, and I had so much fun, touching this topic with you guys. I'm really excited to see you guys the next time. Enjoy your day and live your life to the fullest.
Look at you. Look at you.